summertime, which means it is hot and steamy outside, and also a great time for some sexy summer reads. So I have 6 recommendations for you that are not only going to match the temperature outside, but give you something else to spice up your summer. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa London, and you are watching the Harlequin Books channel, where we talk about all things romance related. So the first book is The Reason for His Wife's Return by Tara Pommy, which you might be like, where'd she go? Like, why did she leave? Well, this is a marriage of convenience. They both would like a child. However, she does have real feelings for him. So Mira takes off because she doesn't want to get her heart broken. They'd agreed this was just going to be a strictly business-only kind of marriage, but 2 things happen. One, Aristos gets in an accident and he's sick and she has to come back to nurse him to health. And she is pregnant, not with 1, but 2 kids. She's having twins. Now, if you really like this book, this is one of 3 in the $1 Billion Fairy Tales. The next one is The Build-Up by Tati Richardson, and this is a workplace romance, which you know what they say about dating coworkers. Never date someone you work with unless they're really hot. Okay, that's not actually a rule, but here we have Ari, and it's her first day at a new firm as an architect, and she's trying to make a good reputation and move up that corporate ladder. And we also have Porter, who is an attorney there and on his way to a partnership track. So what happens? They actually end up teaming up, supporting each other, working together really well, and helping each other to do well and get promoted until one of them decides maybe they should start dating each other. But like I said, workplace romance is frowned upon, so they're a little hesitant to actually get started. The next one is The Queen of Dust by H.E. Dare, and this is a bodyguard romance. And the only thing better than a bodyguard romance is one that is a sci-fi romance. So we have Mara, who is a Balti temptress, which means she is schooled in the fine art of pleasing others, which you know what I mean. And she is trying to return to her home planet, which has been invaded by enemies, and she is the last of her kind, and Cal is there to protect her. Now, Cal is on the outs, and he really needs to prove himself to get his unit back and be back as top guy in his military unit. But in order to do that, he can't do silly things like fall in love with the woman he's supposed to be protecting. So we'll see how good Cal is at resisting someone who is perfect at seducing him. Next, we have Back in the Texan's Bed by Nami Simone, which is a secret baby reunion romance. Now, this is book 1 in the Texas Cattlemen's Club, and there are 8 books in the series, so if you really like this, there's plenty more. And this is a Harlequin Desire, which means there is plenty of steam in here for you. Now, we have Charlotte, who is a chef, and she was a chef to Ross, but she ran off 3 years ago and had a baby in secret. He finds out and he proposes to her that she should just come back and live with him, obviously with her and the baby, so he can get to know them and they can be a family again. But we find out that maybe she left for reasons that are preventing her from coming back. So you gotta read this one to find out why. I have another Harlequin Desire for you, but this one is even better because it is a double-decker, a double-header, a double duo, a double book. I don't know what the right word is. You get 2 books. So the first is Rags to Riches Reunion, which is by Yvonne Lindsay. And the second book is The Lost Heir, which is by Rachel Bailey. So in Rags to Riches, we have Drummond, who is poor, but works his way up the corporate ladder, and he's now rich. And he has promised his best friend that he will not touch his best friend's sister, Hyacinth. But what's he supposed to do when a Hyacinth needs a job? So he, now that he is wealthy and owning his own company, he can actually provide her a job. But keeping his promise to keep his hands off a Hyacinth is probably not something he's going to be able to do. Now, Lost Heir is another rags to riches kind of story, but he didn't work for it. He is actually an heir. So we have Freya, who is great at finding people, and she's looking for the lost heir, who happens to be Heath. Now, Heath is a bartender, and of course, to make sure she has the right guy, they have a one-night stand. And then once he becomes a billionaire, he actually wants to keep her around, especially because he's not really used to this billionaire world, but she is. So she's going to help him out with that and probably some other things. And the last book is Just a Few Fake Kisses by J.C. Lee. And this is a fake dating relationship book, which is one of my favorite tropes. So we have Chloe, who has a big, huge time crush on Anthony, who is a sexy violinist, but he's never really looked at her like that, and she's kind of silently just been pining away for him. But her big chance comes up because she's a very good goody two-shoes kind of girl when he needs a goody two-shoes kind of girl to help clean up his reputation, which is kind of in the dumpster from a past relationship. So he asked her to be his fake girlfriend, which she obviously says yes to, and he has a little bit of a crush on her too. So we get to see how that chemistry plays out, and there's a lot of it in here. So those are all of my hot, steamy, sexy reads for you for this summer. And remember, if you would like some more romance read recommendations, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos all the time. Bye.